champions, my friends. Da, 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 da. We'll keep on fighting till the end. Cutting out paper, because I like to cut out paper. Because I should have done this earlier, but I don't have a mise-en-place. And now I'm really thirsty, because it's really dry here. But I'm cutting out paper, because that's important to me.
Welcome to the last episode of A Fun History of Violin, the Golden Years. We've traveled through many schools of violin playing, starting with the 1600s with the Italian school, the 16 to the 1700s Austro-German school, the 18th century French school, the 19th century French school, and the Franco-Belgian school that started in the 1840s, and many, many, many different styles of the star performers and pedagogues of individual countries during the Romantic period. We have struggled, climbed, waltzed, mazurka'd to the golden age of violin playing in the 1900s. By the 1900s, we have our violin looking like a violin, a bow looking like a bow. And by this time, synthetic strings replaced those pesky gut strings, providing a more reliable, sturdy E string, which in my opinion was a long time coming. While there are less countries to investigate this time around, I'm sorry to say that the golden age of violin was rather prolific in terms of performers and pedagogues. But we can do this together. Let's get started. To Russia, and then into the home and studio of Mr. Auer, one of the biggest names in pedagogy. His students dominated the performing world during the golden age and include Elman, who was known for his golden singing tone. Check him out on YouTube. Zimbalist, who became the director of the Curtis Institute of Music in America. Heifetz, who is known for his underfinger shift. Try it out. But also know that Heifetz didn't come from Russia. He was Lithuanian. Milstein, Sidel, and Shumsky. Other Russian performers include Oistrakh and Kogan. Moving west, or east, depending on how far you want to go, we go to Austria, where we meet one of my personal favorites, Kreisler, known for his gallant style. Sounds like Tartini way back in the 1600s. First finger, thank you for joining our guided tour today. We will be traveling to third position in order to establish the correct location of the third finger. Please mind your knuckles on the way out. Thank you for traveling with us today. When you hear the name Kreisler, think salon music. Saloon music. Make me a Shirley Temple and hurry it up. My horse is double parked out back. Salon music. Also in Austria, we have Uberman and Kubek, who is very much a virtuoso like Paganini. Remember him from the Romantic period? Comes from Italy. Just helping you make the connections. To France. The big name performers were usually students of Martin, Massy, Lambert, and Marsat in the Paris Conservatory. Remember that? Founded by Rodet in the 19th century French school. These students were flesh, but in all seriousness, have you seen the flesh scale system? Most fleshy mammals don't have scales, but fleshy fish do. Flesh's students include Rastal, Goldberg, Handel, Schering, and it's like they're looking for me. Anapasaf. Other performers heralding from France include Franceschetti, Enescu, who, if you've ever played his works, very into folk music and the use of semitones, which would be the greatest name for a band, the semitones. Semitones are the little cracks in between the regular whole and half steps that we hear in Western music. Enescu was the teacher of a darling man named Yehudi Menuhin. More elegant French players include Thibault and Schering. Where have I heard that name before? Oh yeah, he was a student of flesh. And England, home of Enescu's student Yehudi Menuhin. Oh, sorry, that's Sir Yehudi Menuhin. If you're a music educator, I highly recommend some of his writings on pedagogy. He taught Stern and Ricci. Back to my mother's motherland, Hungary. Seriously, you can't beat the food there. Amazing. I'm sure that performers like Vesey and Szigeti also enjoyed it. You don't need to tell Poirot the name of our next performer. Coming to you from Belgium, it's Mr. Arthur Grunau. Oh man, there's a cello professor at school that would not be happy with me right now. Grunau. Let's just go all the way. Gruaux. That's the way it was pronounced, I'm sure of it. In fact, if you speed it up twice as fast, I'm sure it's exact. Here's a new country for our geography, Iran, with the ultimate violin educator, Galamian. If you've ever done a genealogy of your violin background, you usually start at Corelli, and you usually find Galamian somewhere near the end. A student of Lucien Capet at the Paris Conservatory, Galamian is the product of a long line of violinists, showing the significant impact the French school had on modern violin. While he didn't perform a whole lot, especially later in his life, he really dedicated his time to pedagogy. Two resources that you may want to check out are his Principles of Violin and his Teaching Contemporary Violin Technique. Now, the following are all significant people. But by the 1940s, classical music was not what it once was because of the split between lowbrow pop music and highbrow classical music. Performers like Kneisel, DeLay, Gingold, Friedman, Laredo, and Castleman, some of whom are still active musicians, are all important players in modern violin history. An oxymoron, modern history? Finally, we save this last little gem for the end, Dmitry Dunas. Although not a big performer, he pretty much saved the careers of a lot of bigwigs. A teacher of violin and a string player, Dunas used his medical degree in the early 1900s to help professional musicians with physical problems caused by faulty technique. He put this article in the paper claiming to be sort of this Mr. Fix-It of anyone's string-related issues. It was sort of a backdoor, anonymous kind of operation. But as my teacher has pointed out, Dunas will be on the test, so personally, I'm putting him on my list of things to study. And I use his exercises regularly. So that is it, my friends. We have made it. I hope this series has been a big help to you and has been somewhat interesting. If it has, please give this video a thumbs up, a comment, and maybe a little share. Subscribe to see more incredible videos, both of the educational nature and the funny nature. Thanks again for watching, and if you are studying for your comprehensive exams like I am, good luck to us all. Until next time.
Cutting out paper, because I like to cut out paper. Because I should have done this earlier, but I don't have a mise en place. And I'm really thirsty, because it's really dry here. But I'm cutting out paper, because that's important to me. Cutting out paper, because I like to cut out paper. Because I should have done this earlier, but I don't have a mise en place.